Hello guys, welcome to Chainewz, your number one YouTube channel for everything crypto related. If you're looking for news, events, happenings in the crypto world, then this is the right place to be. Before we go into today's video, we first of all want to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever festivities it is you're celebrating. Hope you had a good time with your friends, your families, and your loved ones, all right? Okay, so in today's video, we're going to look at a very interesting topic. There's been a lot of noise about the Spot Bitcoin ETF, and many people don't know what a Spot Bitcoin ETF is. It sounds like magic, it sounds like German. Okay, so we're going to take our time to break down what the Spot Bitcoin ETF is all about in today's video. But before you go anywhere, please make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the little notification bell so that when new videos drop, you'll be among the first people to easily view our content. Alright guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. So before we begin to look at what the Spot Bitcoin ETF is, we just want to generally define what ETFs are. ETFs are a short form for the word exchange traded funds. Exchange traded funds. So what are exchange traded funds? Basically, these are funds that are traded on your exchanges, just like stocks, just like shares. Yes, so that's why it's called an exchange traded fund. And now, just like your shares, all right, the prices of these ETFs, as they're being bought, as they're being sold, the prices move up and down. So that is what ETFs are. Also with ETFs, you get to have a sense of diversification because you have multiple assets can be contained in an ETF. So you can have stocks, you can have commodities, you can have whatever asset it is you're looking for. You cannot have them lumped up into one ETF. So it helps you widen that, range. Like you said, it helps you stay diversified. So those are the kind of benefits you enjoy when trading ETFs. So remember, we said our topic is Spot Bitcoin ETF. Now there's what you call the Futures Bitcoin ETF, right? For those of us that are experienced in one way or the other with cryptocurrency trading, maybe on your Binance, on your Qcoin, or whatever exchange you use, you're familiar with what we call futures trading, right? With futures trading, you don't need to actually hold the assets. In futures trading, you don't need to actually hold the assets. You just need to have your USD, that's your US theta, and you are able to trade with respect to the variance in price, the price changes across the assets. So for example, in futures trading, I can bet or I can speculate that the price of Bitcoin is going to go up. So with the upward price or the downward movement of Bitcoin itself, I can now wager and say, okay, I expect the price to go up. And if the price goes up, I'm in profit. If the price goes down, I'm in loss. I don't need to actually own Bitcoin before I can leverage on the price of Bitcoin's movements to make profits or sometimes losses. Yes. So like I said, the futures Bitcoin, you don't actually need to hold Bitcoin. All you're doing is leveraging the price movement of Bitcoin if it's going up, if it's coming down. Unlike futures Bitcoin, with the Spot Bitcoin, you are now directly investing into Bitcoin. Yeah, so you're leveraging on your movement. It's not like the derivatives in the futures market. The futures market, you are just betting on, if it goes up, if it comes down. But this time, you're actually having direct investments in the Bitcoin assets itself. So like we said, with the Spot Bitcoin, you're actually investing directly into Bitcoin. So you get to own Bitcoin directly. And this kind of helps, what we call liquidity. Yes, liquidity, you're able to access more funds basically with the Spot ETF, Spot Bitcoin ETF. And of late, there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of happenings in the news. The Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States are trying to bring in regulations and laws to ensure that, since the world has not fully adopted crypto, they are also trying to find a way to get people involved in the whole digital currency wave. And so that has been the news that has been, traveling all around the world in recent times. How does the Spot Bitcoin ETF actually work, right? That's what you want to know, or at least you understand what an ETF means, what's the difference between a futures ETF and a Spot Bitcoin ETF. So right now we want to look at how do Spot Bitcoin ETFs actually work. So Spot Bitcoin ETFs securely hold Bitcoins in a digital vault with registered custodians. Like we said, ETF is just exchange traded for, so there has to be an exchange. All right, people that have that platform to enable you to do the exchanges and all your trading. So for Spot Bitcoin ETFs, they hold Bitcoins in a secure digital vault that the registered custodians manage. And like we said, the purpose of this kind of ETF is to reflect the price of Bitcoins in the crypto markets. So for you to get involved in the Spot Bitcoin ETF, for people that want to start, that want to get involved, that want to start making investments, right, in the Spot Bitcoin ETF, this is how it goes. So the ETF buys Bitcoin from other holders or through authorized cryptocurrency exchanges. And then these tokens are stored in a digital wallet. Of course, when you're talking about your digital wallet, you know that your cryptocurrency wallets, whatever, of course, with all the layers of security and everything so that your funds are safe and impregnable to hacking, all right? So I think sometimes you hear, okay, a wallet was hacked and all of that. But for many cryptocurrency exchanges, they have layers of security protocol, so it's not easily hacked. It's practically impregnable. The ETF then issues shares that correspond to a set of the number of Bitcoins it holds. Then the ETF share price would reflect the prevailing market price of the cryptocurrency, and the shares are available for public trading on traditional stock exchanges. So that is how the ETF shares and tracks the price of Bitcoins as closely as possible, and occasionally rebalances its holdings by buying or selling tokens. All right. So what the Spot Bitcoin ETF does is that it opens investors up to endless possibilities, of having a cryptocurrency wallet. And they don't necessarily need to understand all the technicalities of managing a wallet, how to go about this, how to go about that. No, the ETF automatically does everything because it follows and tracks the price of Bitcoin. All right. So what are the advantages of having Spot Bitcoin ETF, right? We are going to have the advantages and the disadvantages. Of course, you can see it on the screen. Some of the advantages of having Spot Bitcoin ETF. Number one is convenience. It is largely accessible to a higher number of investors, a lot of people that want to come into the cryptocurrency. It makes it easier for them to just, get involved and start participating. So that's what the Spot Bitcoin ETFs tend to offer. They lower the barriers to entry into the crypto markets, and investors are excused from managing wallets with Bitcoins, navigating online crypto exchanges, or struggling with public and private keys. Okay, another advantage of having the Spot Bitcoin ETFs is liquidity, right? So more people are involved in the buying and selling process of cryptocurrency, and that helps to increase liquidity in the system. So so Spot Bitcoin ETFs make buying and selling Bitcoins easier, and the process reflects trading traditional stocks, which provides an intuitive transition for mainstream investors. So many of our mainstream investors, they're used to traditional, means of exchanges. But with the ETF, instead of them having to think of, so since they are getting more involved, that means more liquidity, more flow is coming, more cash flow is coming, and also going out. It's the buying and selling process. So that increases the liquidity, right, of whatever is happening in the Bitcoin market. Now, the third advantage of the Spot Bitcoin ETF is that there is regulatory oversight. So you purchase your own Bitcoin, you may be doing so without the backing of clear standardized regulations, but Spot Bitcoin ETFs are subject to rules that ensure transparency and also helps protect investors. So like we said, many people are jumping into this without necessarily having the whole technical knowledge. So there has to be rules to ensure that people that are coming into this sector, people that are coming into this field through the Spot Bitcoin ETF, they are protected through laws and regulations. Of course, the Securities and Exchange Commission has been working tirelessly. Amendments have been made by different organizations so that we can ensure that there's a smooth transition for new users so that they are safe and secure even as they join the Spot Bitcoin ETFs. Okay, so some of the disadvantages and the cons of Spot Bitcoin ETF is crypto volatility, of course, market volatility of Bitcoin prices, which could lead to significant losses. You also have regulatory uncertainty. Yes, there's a lack of a clear regulatory framework to protect investors. So until more comprehensive oversight is established, there remains a great deal of uncertainty about how risks like fraud, manipulation, and loss of assets will be treated. There's also security risks. The number of coins that the Spot Bitcoin ETF will have to hold to be viable will make them attractive targets for cyber criminals. So Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies rely on digital keys, while ETF managers use multi-layered security protections, right? So there's a security risk associated with the Spot Bitcoin ETF. Again, you begin to look at things like management fees. While investing in Spot Bitcoin ETFs will save you time and cost of exchanging securities by yourself, these ETFs charge management fees or expense ratios to cover operation costs. Regarding the future of Spot Bitcoin ETFs, as at October 2023, regulators were yet to approve a Spot Bitcoin ETF. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission has been reluctant to approve any Spot Bitcoin ETF applications, citing concerns over market manipulation, fraud, custody, and investor protection. However, the Securities and Exchange Commission recently decided not to appeal a court ruling that rejecting a Spot Bitcoin ETF proposal by Grayscale. Of course, Grayscale is a leading digital asset manager, was wrong. So this decision has raised expectations that the Securities and Exchange Commission will reconsider Grayscale's application, as well as other pending applications by industry players like BlackRock, Valkyrie, WisdomTree, and 21Shares, amongst many others. So analysts give us this. So there is a strong chance of approval for Spot Bitcoin ETF coming 2024, based on recent modifications to the prospectuses submitted by ARK Invest and 21Shares. These modifications indicate that the Securities and Exchange Commission and the fund sponsors are in active discussions and negotiations, which is a positive sign for future approval. So lastly, could Spot Bitcoin ETF affect the price of Bitcoin? Well, not directly, but it can affect it indirectly in several ways. Number one, increased adoption. The Spot Bitcoin ETF will likely attract significant investment inflows from mainstream investors who want exposure to Bitcoin within their brokerage accounts. And definitely, as the demand rises, this influx of new investors and capital could boost Bitcoin prices. Market validation is the second benefit, or the second thing we look at. So the approval and launch of a Spot Bitcoin ETF will further validate Bitcoins in the mainstream financial system, and this perceived legitimacy will bolster confidence in Bitcoin and drive price higher. Also, trading activity. A Spot Bitcoin ETF could create more avenues for active trading of Bitcoin exposure by hedge funds, day traders, and other speculators. Alright guys, so that's it today for our Spot Bitcoin ETF, what it's all about. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comment section. Once again, we want you to like the video. If you've gained something, we want you to subscribe so that you can be a regular benefactor of our videos that drop every week. Alright guys, once again, Abdullah Gideon is my name, and I'll see you in the next session. Peace out.